What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA camp today. Let's get started. Israel Adesanya praised Khamzat Chimaev. A few months ago, Khamzat stunned the mixed martial arts audience by easily defeating Robert Whittaker and submitting him by face crank in the opening round. Izzy said that he realized he needed to keep an eye out for Khamzat after watching that. Ahead of this weekend's UFC Saudi Arabia, Izzy told the media, yeah, he's really good. When he fought Rob and he beat Rob, that was one that made me go, well, when he fought Gilbert Burns, that was the one that I had respect for him. I was like, okay, he's got that dog in him. He can fight, he can dig deep, and he can still swing. When he fought Rob and beat him the way he did, it made me take notice like, okay, we gotta be careful with this guy. Watch out for this guy. On March 8th, Hooker and Justin Gaethje square off at UFC 313. In a recent interview with the Ariel Helwani show, Dan explained why the UFC scheduled this bout for 5 rounds, even though it is a co-main event, and neither competitor is the title. Dan believes the UFC is only interested in blood. He continued by saying, I just think the UFC wants to see someone die. I think they want to finish. They want this fight as well. I feel like for the fans, they want to see someone go down. They want to see blood. They want to see rounds 4 and 5. I'm happy to oblige for money. This fight is not about talking. I'm expecting no disrespect from Justin Gaethje, and there will be none heading that way. But inside the cage, absolute killers. I respect him for taking this fight. It's a dangerous fight. I feel like there are a lot of tough fights out there, but I feel like there are a lot more low-risk fights, or potentially less dangerous fights, I guess. Dricus Du Plessis responded to the video in which Robert Whittaker and Israel Adesanya discussed his fighting style. They recently posted the following on Izzy's YouTube channel.
But one thing about Dricus is just awkward. He would throw just to stop you in your track. There was one I remember when I sprawled on him and like head hit the mat. I tried to kick him on the ground and I was like, get up. And I advanced and straight away he just went. And I had to stop. So it stopped my momentum and I had to reset. So he's just weird, man. He's like the best fighter in the world.
Dude.
He's so good.
Yeah.
I can't even fault him for it, eh?
Because it works. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when I fought him in that like first 30 seconds, I was like, dude, he's so slow. Like, you know what I mean?
It's like out of nowhere. Like I'm like, bro, he just
dude. But then I got punched in the face. Like,
in response to that video, Dricus stated in an interview with Far Sports Australia, Dricus Du Plessis, well, it seems like they still haven't figured it out. I don't think it was derogatory. I think it was. Well, even if it was, I guess it's irrelevant at this stage. But I do think that they're looking at it and going, how did this happen? And I guess that's a good thing. Look at me bringing people together. I don't think that Adesanya and Whittaker ever had real animosity toward each other. It was just so competitive. And now that it's over, it's cool to see how the sport, they both had the same vision. They both wanted to be the best in the world and they fought twice. Adesanya beat Rob twice. Where I am in my career right now and where they are in their careers, I think it's 2 different spaces. And that's why they are able to now train together, because for them, they're not going to fight each other again. So it's amazing to see. There is no doubt in Jeremy Stevens' mind that he can defeat Conor McGregor. Jeremy mentioned Conor's second bout with Dustin Poirier in 2021 on the Anik and Florian podcast. Dustin used calf kicks to eat away Conor's leg until he knocked him out in the second round. Jeremy thinks he can treat Conor in the same way.
We have way more of a storyline, and I'm way more of a fighter than Logan Paul. Like, granted, like he's making money, but dude, man, that guy couldn't carry my jockstrap, bro. Like seriously, like soft, dude. I've broken people with calf kicks. And, you know, Conor was taken out by Dustin Poirier with calf kicks. He was taken out with boxing. I have all that. I have a lot of layers of skill before you even get to my will. And people used to look at me all kind of crazy, like, you think you can beat Conor? I was like, bro, I believe I can beat Conor. Just like I told people I'm certain I'm going to beat your boy up in Eddie Alvarez. And people think, like, a crowd's going to scare me. They forget, you know, I was up in Montreal Bell Center in front of 65,000 people fighting Sam Stout. Like, the whole week they were just Sam Stout, like he's on TV when I'm in my hotel room. Like, I've been here, I've done that. You know, a lot of people just, I think they're blinded by my power and things on the outside. They don't really see the full journey.
According to Mike Perry, the previous 2 years have seen a decline in the MMA community. According to Perry, fans today treat fighters with greater disdain than they did when he was growing up.
The fan base, the combat sports fan base is like they've changed so much in the last year or two. And they're so disrespectful now. When we came up in fighting, it's like people gave fighters respect. And it's not that the fighters have done anything different, because it's getting harder to be even greater in fighting. Records are being broken still. And people are doing new phenomenal things, as hard as fighting can be nowadays. And not to say that the ones back then or the ones now are any better. I think we would have had some great matchups from time zones. Like if you could put guys from back then with guys from now, I think we'd have some great fights and the wins would be all over the place. But the fan base is so rude. It's like they weren't raised to watch fighting. Like their dads may have watched fighting and treated everything different. Now it's all about, we can disrespect anyone because we think that we want to make this fight happen. And it's like, you know, I don't know. I guess Floyd Mayweather was probably disrespected a lot in the last couple of years of him being undefeated, but everyone knew he was going to win the fight, I feel like. So John, he's always taking tough battles. That's the way I see his career. It's like, wow, he's been #1 for the last 20 years.
Yeah, for the amount of years, it's insane.
One ever did it.
It's insane. The guy deserves respect. All these guys running around be like, he's scared of Aspinall. And I'm not trying to disrespect Aspinall. I think he's a great fighter. But if you think John Jones is scared of him, you're out of your mind. He just wants to get paid to fight him. People are clueless, thinking he's playing the strong game of negotiation. If he's like begging to fight the guy, the UFC ain't gonna pay him. If he's like, I don't know, maybe I'll fight him, he's gonna get paid.
I hope it happens and he gets paid great, and he's still the same John Jones that dominates a battle. I hope he wins. Nothing against Aspinall except the people talking for him.
According to Eric Nixick, Alex Pereira will surround Sean Strickland once more in his impending fight with Dricus Du Plessis. At UFC 297, Alex really cornered Sean in their first bout, which Sean lost by split decision against Dricus Du Plessis. In 2022, Alex and Sean fought back, with Alex knocking Sean out in the first round. Since then, the two have become friends and trained together several times. Sean went to Khalil Rountree's training camp with Alex. As Nick addressed the Shimo, we will have Alex Poe in the corner, so dropping the news right now. He's a good friend of Sean. He's a great training partner. Obviously, these guys have fought, but after the fight, I think it takes a man to go and learn from the guy who caught you with something. These guys trained with each other a ton. Sean went up there to help him get ready for Kilree, and I love having him, man. It's great energy. So we just talked yesterday. We were going to have the fourth, and it was going to be Alex. So I can't wait having him. Aljamain Sterling's next opponent is either Brian Ortega or Arnold Allen. In December of last year, Aljo lost against Movsar Evloev by unanimous decision, but many fans believed that Aljo had won the bout. Aljo recently stated that he still wants to win the UFC Featherweight Championship in an interview with MMA Junkie. He stated, "A lot of fans don't think I lost that fight. I watched it back a couple of times now, and I still don't think I lost the fight. Obviously, the judges are the judges, so whatever they say is going to stay in the history books. But I would love to run it back with him. If not, maybe fight Arnold Allen or Brian Ortega. I want to fight up. I don't really want to fight down. But if I have to prove my worth again, then it is what it is. I'm still chasing that gold. If I could get a second gold belt, man, that's another legacy thing that people can't take away from me. So, I'm chasing history at this point. Of course, the paychecks are good, but I'm not fighting just to be in there to say I'm fighting. I'm in there to beat the best guys. I'm in there to say that I fought the best guys, and that's what it's about for the rest of my career. I'd say I'm maybe 1 or 2 fights away, so it just really depends on the landscape, how I look in the fight, what Volk is going to do if he's going to vacate. Then that puts 2 new challengers to fight for the vacated belt, so it really depends. I don't really know what's going to happen in the future, but I'm patiently waiting. Hopefully, I can make my return in April, maybe fight again in August or September, and get ready to go. Michael Bisping shares his opinions about Conor McGregor's contentious BKFC visit. Following his TKO of Eddie Alvarez, August, Conor faced Jeremy Stephens. Following the fight, BKFC president David Feldman stated that Conor expressly instructed him to declare that Conor will be facing Jeremy next. Bisping feels Conor's plan to promote BKFC was brilliant, but he doesn't think Conor will actually fight Jeremy.
There's a lot to unpack there, if you will. Of course, he's under contract with the UFC, but I'll say this, right? And, you know, I've gone back and forth with McGregor over the years, as you have. So this is far from me being a McGregor nut hugger. If there's one person that knows how to keep himself relevant in the fight world without actually fighting, it's Conor McGregor. You know, he's linked up to fighting everyone left, right, and center. And if you want to talk about promoting bare knuckle, that's a stroke of genius, because you know today, tomorrow, all the headlines are going to be Conor McGregor versus Jeremy Stephens. Is it going to happen in bare knuckle? Now, the fight's never going to happen. That would be my guess. But the sideline of it all is that amongst all those headlines, bare knuckle FC is being promoted and talked about the entire time. Well, David Feldman at the post-fight press conference actually made what appeared to be kind of like an official announcement. He said that Conor
very nervously.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't think that fight's going to happen one little bit. No. But as I say, you know, the side effects of that is that's getting promoted. You know what I mean? So, but it might cause there might be a couple of letters flying around at some point soon if he's not careful.
Alex Pereira's remarks regarding Israel Adesanya are met with a response. Alex addressed Ariel Helwani, saying, "I don't see myself cheering against Israel Adesanya. I wish him the best. I think maybe without him, I would not be where I am today." Izzy responded to the video. In response, he said, Same. I feel the same way. I think God blessed me with a great opponent like Alex Pereira. He blessed me with a great challenge. It's easy to say that now on this side, but it takes a lot to take on that man. I always knew we'd have history, and I always knew I could best him. I'm glad God blessed me with that challenge to be able to rise to the occasion. I respect the guy, and I want the best for him. I like what he's doing. I like the fact that he's running through everyone because, again, it just shows how good he is. Conor McGregor was not pleased with Paul Hughes, his old friend and fellow Irishman. Over the weekend, Hughes fell to Usman and Magomedov by a narrow margin at PFL, route to Dubai. Conor declared immediately following the bout that he believed Hughes had won and that he had dominated the bout. But Conor has changed his mind today. After the bout, some video surfaced showing Paul Hughes and Khabib Nurmagomedov talking. "I'm not like this other guy," Hughes added. "I'm my own man," Conor said.
"I'm not like this other guy, I'm my own man. I'm not like this other guy. The media try to make us like not respect, but you know I always have respect."
In response to that video, Conor said, "Too right you're not, bumhole liquor." Conor continued by disparaging Hughes for being from Northern Ireland and flying the Irish flag. He stated, "Get that flag off you little. Know what you are from up there." He concluded by saying, "Lick my arse. I'm farting in your face. Fart and hairy hole arse liquor. Yep, the real Irish. These vermin," Paul Hughes answered he penned with the notorious MMA. "Always said you were the GOAT, paid homage at every opportunity, but coming at my Irish identity just shows where your head is at." Khabib Nurmagomedov offered his opinion on the matter. He reposted the quotation from Paul Hughes and said, "You are a real Irishman, Paul Hughes, and not a rapist and drug addict like this."